Hi guys, welcome back to more episodes of The Americans. We are on the penultimate episode of season 4, coming up episode 12. However, we have an interesting development. Right at the end of the last episode, these two crackheads or drunks or whatever you want to call them, were just after robbing. It had nothing to do with anything, I think, just the neighbourhood that they're in. And Elizabeth was pretty much prepared to just hand over a purse and just walk away, which is what they should have took. But the other guy took an interest to Paige, with her being a young girl, and she's just gone into full defence, fucking spy mode, and just stabbed one of them to death, and the other one's run off. Paige has now seen that her darling little mother, housewife, cook, all that, is and I mean, she knows she's a spy, but they've kept it, they've kept it toned down. They've kept it within the realms of, it's just something that we do. We're not killers. We're not horrible people. And Paige has just seen it just spill out literally in front of her. I am dying to know what's going to happen from here. This is going to turn Paige one way or the other, without a doubt. Let's go find out. This is episode 12.
Hey, guys.
We need to talk.
We're fine.
She's
we
not fine.
What? We're okay. We yelled and the guys ran and, it was just scary.
May need to wait to speak to Paige.
Your mother and I get him.
Gone to bed.
Settle down, you sister.
Yeah.
Was he dead?
Who cares?
I don't know. There were two guys.
He was going to rob you and rape you, probably.
She just...
It's okay. Shh. It's okay. It's okay.
Don't we have to call the police?
No.
We have to call the police.
No,
we can't
don't.
do that, honey.
Grow up, girl. Grow up.
Yeah, I did.
See the world for what it actually is.
I feel sick.
Honestly, Paige is just, it's not all fucking butterflies and this world is brutal and harsh. Paige just got a crash course in what life is really like. I'll say this though, okay? Right? Yeah. Before we start, I know I'm pausing it right after the credits. My statement saying most teenagers will find it cool that one of their parents is such a badass, or both of them are, which they are, but she's seen it firsthand with her mom. Looking at that through a teenager's eyes, if you saw that when you were a teenager from one of your parents, it was just an off comment that I made that, you might find it cool that your parent can handle things like that. But in realistic terms, I suppose what it would do, given what Paige already knows, is it would probably frighten you and be scared of that you really just don't know who your parents are, despite all the reassurances that they've given you and what they do and what they don't do, which is what they've tried to really get Paige to understand. And now she's just seen that pretty much it's a lie. If she can just do that off the cuff. However, at the same time, most teenagers would handle, I think a lot of teenagers would handle it differently to Paige. She's not a normal teenage girl before she knew any of this, is she?
It was just so fast, and I didn't even know what was happening, and I was so scared. I know.
Like any mother would anyway.
And you didn't even seem upset after. You were, like, calm.
Yeah. You don't get it,
I wasn't going to let him hurt you.
You just don't understand.
Have you done that before?
No.
Worked alone at night?
Well, not really. I mean, she liked to come here at night. She was 87, she lived alone. This gave her a place to go, to feel useful.
And no follow-up investigation?
An investigation for what? She'd been sick for a long time.
She died of natural causes.
Is this something I should know?
No, it's fine.
And he's right, but I'm not sure he's on the correct path.
49263.
There's your code.
Lassa fever is a very undignified way to go. You basically dissolve inside.
What a lovely description. Thank you for that.
The modified strain you want, strain level 4, is hard at work perfecting. I can't do this one, Philip.
You're afraid.
Who wouldn't be? Say, it actually
Got out.
gets out there.
Yeah, it's messing.
And I play a part in that.
It's godlike messing with nature.
What do you want me to tell Gabriel?
Tell him the truth.
Меня переводят на Робби. Резидент.
Ah, bye then.
Чего себе?
То, чем я здесь
I've got an
занималась,
itchy nose, I'm not picking it.
скажем так, у меня неплохо получалось, и центр мною весьма доволен. Женщина-резидент.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Don't mix business with pleasure here.
Ну да, это уже не Америка, я понимаю. Главное, в течение следующей недели не угробить половину населения Восточного побережья. She was telling me about this conversation she had with Matthew. Stan
Yeah.
told him about Martha, that she was a spy, and that he'd met with her father, and that it was hard.
Yeah. What do you think that means? Sure he did. Put it back. Don't let them know we know it's there.
They ought to tear this goddamn building down.
Yeah, because there
Fire
could be
everyone who
bugs
works in it,
everywhere.
including us.
We have to set up on the mail robot, whatever that thing.
I mean, come on, you've got to admit, from their understanding and their side of looking at things here, that's now the second bug that you've found that's compromised the FBI and this office. So him saying, we need to tear this whole fucking building apart and start again, he's not wrong. For all you know, these damn things could be everywhere. Because you know you've had a spy in here. They could have planted one, they could have planted two, they could have planted 200. It's weird, isn't it? Because as far as, you know, the one thing we don't see is we don't see the reverse. We don't see agents from the US over in Russia doing the same thing.
Did you know it'd be dangerous when you joined?
I wanted to serve my country.
You never answer my questions.
Because you ask stupid ass bloody questions that you know
is
the
my-
answer
It's
to.
always, I want to make the world better or safer, but it's never what happened.
I grew up in a city called Smolensk. It was almost totally destroyed during the war. I was only 2 when it ended, but everything around me was destroyed. I'd done without food, freezing, fighting. They all worked together and fought back somehow.
See, being an American child in the 80s, Paige has no reference to this. You've grown up in a privileged Western society.
I wish I could take you there.
I wish I could go back
I
to
could show
Russia.
you
I've only been once,
where I grew up.
but at the moment, not possible.
Разгонный блок для шаттла. Нового.
Challenger?
They're not going to bring that into it, are they?
Технология двойного применения?
No, surely not.
Пока не знаю.
Всего-то несколько месяцев встречаемся.
Дело не в этом, понимаешь, просто мои в Москве и тут
Yeah.
последнее время.
Whoever coded the subtitles for
В
this
общем, я о многом сейчас думаю.
needs to get fired. Gotcha.
Did she know who she was working for?
She met a guy at a Roy Rogers in Franconia. Offers her $500 a week to change out the recorder.
Is she gonna make the drop?
Yeah.
Let's get set. Still think we're wasting our time?
Not going to the
I talked
source.
to the director. He's talking to the State Department.
I'm calling about your daughter. Please let me speak. I have to be brief. She's fine. She'll always be taken care of. And she wants you to know she loves you and thinks about you.
That's all you're going to get. He said he'd do it.
Do you ever worry about his job being dangerous?
He was undercover when we were in St. Louis. I think that was scary.
Stop crying.
Chasing spies.
She's just after
it's not
answers.
like car chases and stuff. And there's a lot of figuring out, waiting.
Car chases and pulling your gun out and shooting people is like 2% of the time.
I went to Bauman Technical University. It's like your MIT, and I can tell you we have the best scientists in the world, but we don't have the money, and it's... Yeah. I'm getting worried, Stan. All those brains with what they're doing. There are things we're doing. They're too dangerous. They need... If your people know that certain things are happening, that treaties are being broken, maybe they'll stop.
Interesting. He's got a point, because that was always Russia's downfall within their society, within their infrastructure, and within their military side of things as well. Lack of this. You have the brains. You don't have the money and the time and the research and development, the R&D, to figure stuff out correctly. Like I said, it's like handing somebody a sophisticated weapon that you know doesn't have the correct tools to interpret it correctly.
I'm giving you something, one thing. After this, we're done.
Okay.
Do you know anything about biological weapons?
Here we go.
Not really. They send some of the work out somewhere else. We have someone there.
To contract it out.
At that place or one of those places. That's it.
That's all you got. And you're handing it to somebody who doesn't have, like I just said, the necessary funds to develop it and research it properly. Christ, they couldn't even build their nuclear reactors properly.
I just saw Burov. He gave me enough pieces to put something together. I think it's big.
It is.
Anyone else know about this?
No.
Keep it that way.
Hatterholt. Pull everyone off the drop site except for one car with a video camera.
So?
Philip tells me you're having second thoughts.
Dealing with dangerous stuff
because
here.
I believed in something. It's hard after a while to keep that up. And now, this. How can I believe in this? With all the damage it can cause.
You've given almost your whole life to your country, to your people. It's time. It's time for you to come home. And they're waiting for you. You'll find a wife, you'll have a family.
Not a bit late for that.
Look through, see who they got in the top secret bioweapons research division, right?
Or we just send the whole list out to the field offices. Think we can eliminate the accountants?
Now we're getting somewhere.
I didn't change his mind. I reminded him who he is and gave him what he wants.
You're a bastard.
And if that wasn't who he was anymore?
I don't know.
I agreed with William.
A lot of the time it's what he
So we
doesn't
should
say.
keep the whole damn thing to ourselves.
This guy is an established
You can always
diplomat.
count on Elizabeth.
You're good for each other.
Center made a good match.
I used to think I'd do better. Serve the center better if I kept to myself. You work alone, there's no one there tearing away at you, weakening you. You go to shit anyway. And you're still alone.
He told me his dad hasn't been home in 2 days.
There she goes again.
Is that important?
Might be.
What's going on with you two?
Nothing. We're friends.
Yeah, of course you are.
Henry's really close to Mr. Beeman, and we have no idea what he's saying to him about us.
You don't have to worry about that. Paige, you can have friends. We want you to have friends.
You have to be careful who you open up to.
You talk to Mr. Beeman all the time. He's practically a member of the family.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
How?
We don't need you to get close to Matthew.
You wanted me to worry about Pastor Tim and Alice.
That is very...
And I wanted nothing to do with them. You told me I had to stay close with them. You always say we'll get through this, but you never say how.
Louisville field office found a William Crandall, born Paducah, February 7th, 1927, age 5.
Foster Medical, right?
Or was it Pace Labs?
There he
Figure
is.
this guy's already made a surveillance detail.
Who's been on him? Yeah, right here. Get A and C up and on the street.
That's
Get
good.
2 teams down from New York ready to take the next shift.
Take care of it right now. Sure. Thank you.
Oh,
Bye.
I can't wait for the season
What
finale.
was that about?
I'm sorry, I have to go. Paige, I can't give you the details right now.
You guys said you were done lying to me. You just killed a man in front of me. I might as well know everything.
Just creates an additional
trust me or
person
not?
who knows the truth. Don't do it.
Part of a weapon that our army will use to fight if we're ever attacked.
This is a mistake.
Great.
Great. Now she knows. Interesting episode. It's not that I don't... Well, no, it is. I was just going to say it's not that I don't trust Paige, but no, I don't trust Paige. That's the whole issue. Yes, okay, her point of view, her side of the story. Well, I've just seen you kill someone, so I might as well know everything. Yeah, that all seems to fit neatly into the correct box for you, that you know what your parents are, you've just witnessed and seen what your mum's had to do and knowing you can't do anything about it and you can't go to the police, blah, 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 blah. But starting to give you specific details on stuff, if ever all of this goes to hell, all you're doing is bringing yet another person in on the aspects of what the centre is doing that can be interviewed, investigated, tortured. That's worst case scenario, of course. And I think the more details Paige would know, the more, at this point of her life, because it's all come so quickly, I think the more it would push her in the wrong direction. I don't know. But they're onto Willie. They're onto him there now. Like I said, it's the easiest way to be able to... It's not faking an ID. It's coming up with a whole new identity and finding children that died in early childbirth and inheriting that ID and that name because there's a birth certificate and everything. They've picked up on it quick. They've picked up on it there. Interesting that Oleg has made the move with that conversation he had with Stan, basically explaining, I'm worried. Literally, I'm worried for me, you, my country, your country. I'm worried for the world that we are starting to deal with biological weaponry, that we have mad scientists for it. We've got plenty of scientists. I don't mean the mad. But we don't have the research. We don't have the facilities. We don't have the money. We don't have the time and the dedication and everything from them. Let's face it, if you look at this from a completely military standpoint, what they're basically doing is stealing from their enemy, reverse engineering stuff to be able to use it against their enemy. But that in itself comes with problematic issues like what we had with the submarine, where they inadvertently, it's like giving the car keys to the teenager, but giving the car key, instead of giving them something amenable and small and compact and relatively low powered, you give them a 5-litre muscle car and they go out and kill themselves with it. It's the same sort of thing. You're giving them the opportunity to take these things that probably America's researched and had God knows how many people working on it for how long, and they quickly want to take this reverse engineering and implement it as quickly as possible. So I understand Oleg saying, I need to tell you that I don't feel that we are in the right time and position to be handling this kind of stuff. It's one thing for it to be a bullet or a machine gun or a weapon or a ballistic missile or whatever, but bio engineering is a complicated business. So I get it. I do get it. I'm looking forward to the season finale though now, because I have a feeling that it's all going to blow up. I really expected in this episode for either Paige to totally freak out or go completely on the side, but she's still kind of in the middle. She's asking all the wrong questions that are obvious, which is why she's annoying me. She's asking questions that, oh, well, what did you never think of this? What do you do this? Do you do that? You're like, you know the nature of what your mum does and what your dad does, and you're asking questions that come with that job. You already know the answers to them. You're not asking the right questions if you want to understand it more. Does my head in. Right, I think that'll do for the time being. We will come back with the season finale and see where we end up at the end of episode 13. So till then, guys, thanks a lot for watching. By all means, post your comments down below. And if you do want to watch any uncut reactions of this show or any others, don't forget to check the link in the description. And that will head you over to Patreon. There is a full archive over there. Over 2,000 episodes of different shows by now, and it really, really does help support the channel, because I don't make anything on YouTube. All the videos that you see on YouTube aren't monetized, so that would be a big help, even if you just go take a look. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit the subscribe channel if you haven't already. I will see you for the season finale next. Take care.